High in the windswept Altiplano of Bolivia, an ancient mystery stands as a profound challenge to human logic and our understanding of historical engineering. Puma Punku is a place where stones are not just rocks, but masterpieces of technical precision that seem to exist far beyond their supposed era. How did a primitive civilization create these laser-sharp cuts and perfect joints that continue to baffle modern architects and stonemasons today? Archaeologists using modern digital tools find that these stone surfaces are perfectly flat, showing a level of accuracy that matches industrial manufacturing standards. As the sun sets, the light reveals deep, sophisticated grooves carved into diorite stone, displaying a level of craftsmanship that defies conventional historical explanations. The wind whispers through the cracks of these ancient monoliths, carrying echoes of a lost knowledge that once thrived in this harsh, thin atmosphere. Every corner is a perfect right angle, every surface polished to a mirror finish, suggesting the use of advanced machinery rather than simple copper chisels. In this landscape of red earth and cold stone, we are forced to rethink everything we thought we knew about the capabilities of our ancestors. The material chosen was diorite and granite, some of the hardest stones on Earth, which present an incredible challenge even for modern diamond-tipped tools. From the smallest drill hole to the largest multi-ton block, the consistency of the work suggests a highly organized and technologically advanced construction system. Diorite is nearly as hard as diamond. To shape it into these geometric forms, the builders would have needed tools far stronger than copper or bronze. According to the Mohs scale, using copper tools to cut diorite is like trying to cut through hardened steel using a simple, dull butter knife. Yet, we see straight lines and deep channels that are uniform down to the millimeter, as if the stone was soft clay when it was worked. In certain areas, the stone is so finely polished that it reflects the sky, a feat that requires thousands of hours of incredibly tedious labor. These deep U-shaped channels are identical in depth and width along their entire length, indicating a level of mechanical control that is truly astonishing. The traditional theory of stone-on-stone pounding fails to explain how such intricate, small-scale details were achieved without shattering the brittle diorite blocks. When placed side by side with modern industrial samples, the ancient blocks show no sign of the uneven tool marks typical of manual primitive labor. Small, perfectly round holes are found throughout the site, spaced with mathematical precision as if they were meant for some kind of mechanical assembly. Creating a perfect interior corner in hard stone is one of the most difficult tasks for any mason. Yet, here they are, everywhere. Geologists are stunned by the lack of fractures. The techniques used seem to have manipulated the stone at a level we barely understand today. Even across broken fragments, we can see that the original lines were perfectly straight for many meters, suggesting a master plan and advanced surveying. Besides the hard diorite, the builders also moved sandstone blocks weighing over 100 tons across miles of rugged mountainous terrain without wheels. Every aspect of this site contradicts the established timeline of human development, pointing toward a forgotten chapter of high technology in the ancient past. Now, let us look at the famous H-blocks. These iconic stones are perhaps the most mysterious and intriguing features of the entire Puma Punku complex. They are nearly identical in size and shape, as if they were mass-produced from a single industrial mold, or following a standardized blueprint. Engineers have noted that these blocks seem designed to interlock like giant Lego pieces, creating a modular building system that could withstand massive forces. The interior recesses are carved with such precision that it is impossible to fit even a razor blade between the blocks if they were joined. This level of uniformity suggests a highly sophisticated system of weights and measures that was used across the entire construction project without variation. Along the edges, we find rows of tiny uniform holes that look exactly like the marks left by modern high-speed industrial drill bits. When digitally reconstructed, the site looks more like a modern power plant or a futuristic outpost than a temple from an ancient agricultural society. Why would an ancient culture go to such extreme lengths to create such complex, interlocking shapes for a simple building project in the mountains? Modern architects struggle to explain how these blocks could be designed and executed without the aid of computer-aided design and heavy precision machinery. The lack of human error is the most disturbing part. In handmade objects, there are always variations, but these blocks are mathematically identical. The big question is not just how they did it, but why this incredible technology vanished so completely, leaving no other trace in history. Was this a natural evolution of human skill? Or are we looking at the remains of a technology that was gifted to us from somewhere else? As we look at these perfectionist stones,
What's our terms?
we cannot help but wonder if the builders were looking at the stars for their inspiration or help. Puma Punku stands as a silent witness to a past that refuses to fit into our history books, a past of high-tech gods. Perhaps the methods used were so advanced that they would look like magic to us, involving sound, vibration, or unknown energy sources to shape stone. The contrast is jarring. How do we reconcile the image of primitive hunters with the reality of the precision engineering we see at Puma Punku? A simple copper chisel cannot make a line this straight and deep in diorite without slipping or dulling almost instantly upon the first impact. The markings on the stone are consistent with modern milling and machining techniques, where the tool moves with a constant, high-speed mechanical force. The entire layout of the site is aligned with astronomical precision, suggesting the builders had an advanced understanding of the cosmos and mathematics. When we look inside the holes, we see spiral patterns that are identical to those left by modern diamond-tipped drills spinning at thousands of revolutions per minute. The digital data confirms it. These stones were created using a sophisticated mathematical language that we are only now beginning to fully decode and understand. Standard archaeology says they used stones to hit stones, but the math and the physical evidence simply do not support that overly simplistic conclusion. Was there an ancient power source or a lost form of energy that allowed these builders to melt or soften stone like it was wax? These aren't just blocks for a wall, they are components of a machine-like structure designed for a specific purpose we can only guess at. If humans didn't have the technology, then we must consider the possibility of outside intervention or a much older, lost global civilization. Puma Punku is part of a global pattern of impossible ancient structures that suggest a unified, advanced technological influence across the entire ancient world. The precision is so absolute that it exceeds what most modern construction projects would even attempt to achieve with today's best equipment. Every time we think we have an answer, the stones of Puma Punku present a new question that pushes the boundaries of our reality. But then, in an instant, everything changed. This pinnacle of ancient engineering was brought to its knees by an overwhelming force of destruction. The site today is a field of ruins, a chaotic puzzle of broken dreams and shattered stones scattered across the high Bolivian plateau. Puma Punku is not just a mystery of construction, but a mystery of destruction. The sheer violence that leveled this place is hard to comprehend. Blocks weighing hundreds of tons were tossed around like pebbles, some thrown hundreds of feet from their original positions in the temple complex. Some researchers suggest a massive ancient cataclysm, perhaps a great flood or a seismic event of unprecedented proportions, hit this high-altitude region. The copper and bronze clamps used to hold the stones together were twisted and torn by a force that defies simple earthquake damage. Could it have been an explosion? The way the blocks are scattered suggests an outward force coming from the center of the main structures. Scientific dating of the soil beneath the stones suggests the site may be much older than the 12,000 years usually cited by historians. The deeper we dig, the further back the timeline goes, pushing the origins of Puma Punku into a forgotten epoch of human history. It is a graveyard of technology, a place where the highest achievements of a lost world were buried under the mud of a global catastrophe. And some even wonder if this was the site of an ancient war, a conflict between advanced beings that left the Earth scarred and broken. Evidence of extreme heat on some stones has led to theories of ancient thermal weapons or atmospheric disasters that melted the very rock. The tragedy of Puma Punku is that we can see the perfection, but we can only guess at the disaster that ended it so abruptly. The ruins stand as a silent monument to the fragility of even the most advanced civilizations when faced with the power of nature or gods. Time has tried to erase the story of this place, but the stones are too heavy and too perfect to be completely forgotten by history. What remains is a puzzle that we are still trying to solve, a jigsaw of stone that holds the secret to our true origins. As the darkness of the Altiplano returns, we are left to ponder the fate of the builders and the power that brought them down. Puma Punku remains silent, a proud and enigmatic witness to a chapter of our history that we are not yet ready to fully understand. Each stone is a question, and each perfectly carved notch is a secret waiting for the light of modern science to finally reveal its truth. Perhaps the answers aren't just buried in the red earth of Bolivia, but are written in the stars that these ancient builders once worshipped. The legacy of Puma Punku is a reminder that our past may be far more complex and high-tech than we have ever dared to imagine. We continue to search, to measure, and to wonder, knowing that the truth is still out there, hidden beneath these impossible ancient stones. Puma Punku stands as a gateway to the unknown, beckoning us to look closer at the world around us and the history we think we know. Until the day we find the key to these stones, the mystery of Puma Punku will remain one of the greatest riddles of our world.